Welcome to the shop. I'm Jeff from Today's Craftsmen. Today we're going to look at the Domino XL. So this is the Domino XL, obviously, as you could tell, because it's next to this smaller Domino. This is the DF 500 and the DF 700. So we put this to the side and take a look at the XL. Have your power switch here, dust ports here. We have our fence control here, so this changes the angle of the fence. Typically you're going to be in this 90-degree setting, and it does have detents for, you know, all these common angles. The adjustment for height is here, so this adjusts the height of the fence for doing different thicknesses of material. And in conjunction with that, you have these stops here, so if you loosen it, you can use this to set different heights. You have common heights here from 10 to 40 millimeters. This little green button here, this is how you remove your fence. So if you wanted to change the cutter, we have a 12 millimeter cutter in there now. If we wanted to change that, you take the wrench that they supply, you lift that up, you saw it popped out, and here's your cutter. This is a 12 millimeter cutter. So this will spin and it actually oscillates back and forth when you turn the machine on. Like a lot of tools, it has an arbor lock. Spin it a little bit to get it in the locked position. Hold that button down, loosen it here, and change it out to a different size. This I think does between 8 and 14 millimeters. And they do sell adapters so that you can run the DF 500 bits on the XL. To put the fence back on, you just slide it back in. Easier said than done. Interesting. It's a precision piece of machinery. So you can see here how far the bit projects, much further than the DF 500. The Domino XL has these built-in stops. So there's a little button here on the side and one on this side that will release these pins. And you could use these to reference off of the edge, and they're, you know, equidistant from center. And then if you're not using them, you can just lock them in like this. The Domino XL, similar to the DF 500, has 2 width settings. The 500 has 3, and this is the control there. So you have the exact setting, so that will cut the exact width of a domino, and then you have the wider setting, which will cut a slot that's just slightly wider. Here on the side we have the depth adjustment, and they do provide 2 stops. So the depth will correspond to the size of domino, or length rather, that you're using. So let's say you want to do a mortise at 20 and a mortise at 60. You could set your stops, and this will actually stop on those two settings. So it's very handy. We have a 12 millimeter cutter in here now. So let's see how this thing works. Let's get the machine set up to make this theoretical joint here, joining these 2 pieces perpendicularly. First thing we'll do is put this down to 90 degrees. This material is 1 7/8", which is pretty close to 50 millimeters. So we want to set this to half of that, which is 25. So we're going to loosen this knob here, lift this up, and we're going to set this to 25, allow it to come down, and then lock it down. So now our cutter will be centered in the material. We're using a 12 by 140 millimeter domino, and we want it equally in both pieces. So we're going to set the depth here all the way to 70, which is the max. We'll make a couple marks where we want our dominoes. What we'll do, and this is something that we do a lot, we will use the small setting on this piece so that these dominoes fit exact. And in this, we'll do the wide setting so that we have a little bit of wiggle room, because ideally what we're looking to do is align these edges perfectly. So if there's any bit of human error, we want to be able to account for that when we assemble this joint. In the back here is the connection for the plug-it cord. So press that in and turn, and we have our vacuum connection here. Ready to make the cut here, making sure that we're on the small setting for this piece. So we'll turn the machine on, get lined up with our marks, and plunge in nice and slow. Now we'll cut the wider setting here. You can see we have our exact fit here, and this is our wider fit. So just a little bit of wiggle room. So there you have the basics of the Domino XL. Definitely a powerful tool to have in the shop. If you have any questions about the tool, make sure to leave them down in the comments, or if there's anything else that you'd like us to cover, let us know.